So this is our boat, Akitas. And this is the three of us, Mary, Paul and Mally. And we're heading around the coast of the UK during 2021. We managed a little cruise just to check everything out, just down the coast from us in Inverness. We had some last minute visitors, family visitors. We packed up everything on the boat that we could think of. What's the skipper got to say? Oh, okay. You had a lot of words earlier on to say though.
Bouncing our way nicely up here and nearly three knots taking us with us, going with us.
Well, this is just heading around the corner and you can see Fort George here, and we're going to go down the South Channel, and when we were happy that everything was working, we set off going under the bridge at Inverness, out past Rosemarkie, and we ended up eventually in Cromarty for the night. The following day turned out to be a lovely start to the day, and we made good progress out of Souters, out of Cromarty, and made our way out into the Moray Firth. We ended our day in Lossiemouth, had a little wander around, had a look at some of the interesting things on the quayside. It's quite a big anchor, this one, isn't it? And later in the day we took Mally for a little walk. Not much to see this morning, it's all ha-ha.
Ha-ha, we've had enough of this ha.
And this is us wearing our survival suits, our offshore warm survival suits, so we're very welcome given the foggy conditions we had. And this is us just coming into Whitehills. The harbour master took some photographs of us as we came in. And we moored up just inside the harbour mouth on a pontoon, just along from one of the wonderful old fishing vessels that used to frequent the Moray coast along here. But the draft isn't always what we want in these harbours, so you have to accept it. So we're leaning a bit against the pontoon, a bit squishy fended, but we should be okay. It's dead low tide. And we watched the boat gradually come up from low tide, coming back level. Oh, it's not very warm when you get in. First paddle of the year. Well, we can see it on the film, but there was a very strange bow in the water here. I think it's the light coming through the fog. It's not a fog bow or something. But it's, I don't think you can see it on the camera, very pale white. So tomorrow we're going round Rattray Head, so we're heading from Whitehills round to Peterhead. And the issue we've just been talking about is southeasterly winds up to force 5, and it's just past the spring tide, so we've got to take account of that. Tides round Rattray Head can run up to 2 knots in, or 1.8 knots in on spring tides. We're just 3 days past the springs, so we're probably going to get a knot and a half of foul tide as we go around there if we time it wrong. So the plan is we're going to leave early in the morning, so about 4 o'clock in the morning, go along the coast to Fraserburgh, The wind will be southeast, so it'll be a nice reach. We get to the corner, to the turn point at Fraserburgh, passing down to Rattery Head about 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll make an assessment at that point what the wave conditions are like and the wind. We could then bail to go to Fraserburgh. It's not the preferred port, but that would be an option. And then we're going to have to beat into it coming down as the tide increases, so we'll get more and more foul tide as we come down the coast towards Peterhead. So we're going to stay reasonably well off. Seems to be less tide offshore than there is close around the head. So I'll show you what Savvy actually tells us on the chart. Okay, so this is Savvy, so you can put your waypoints in and it then calculates a bit of a route, and down the side here it gives you all what's happening at different times. So if we set off at 4 o'clock in the morning, moderate breeze, 10.4 knots, broad reach, so we're cross tide, and it should be fine. So that's good up at that point until we reach about here, when the tide will be slack, which is good, but then begins to turn as we move further down here. So if we go inshore into this area, it's about 1.7, 1.8 knots of foul tide against us. If you stay offshore here, it's about 1.5 knots by the time we get here, and then we'll be able to tack back in the direction which would get us to back into Peterhead, which is down in this corner here. So we did look at going at 6 o'clock. We had more foul tide in this area. We have to leave White Hills by about I think 8 o'clock. The tide would allow us to get out just at 8 o'clock, but that means that if we did it that way, we would end up with a lot of foul tide here to deal with. So we're in two minds as to whether we should do this or not. The general consensus between the two of us was it's probably our best shot, and so we're going to go for it. So we need to be up early tomorrow, get everything ready, meals and things ready, because could be a rough passage, and hopefully it'll be a good day. We'll see how it turns out compared with the passage planning, which is all on this piece of paper here. We've got tides, currents at different times, how far it is, and a plan at the bottom here. The following morning the winds were too high, so we didn't go till the next day. There's a picture of what actually happened. The yellow line is actual course, and the purple line is the passage plan. The winds were much higher and more easterly than we'd expected, so we had quite a rough time getting around the corner. So how did the passage actually plan out? Well, as you can see, we couldn't point as far east as we wanted to on this course, and when we tacked we made the right angle, but shortly afterwards we got headed yet again, and we were into the area where the strongest tides were coming round the corner at Fraserburgh. So it just shows planning like this doesn't always work out, so you have to make the best of it. And what did we do on our day off? Well, we went for a cycle ride. We took Mally in her bike chariot, and we went along the coast to Bound Macduff area and had a lovely day out, nice and warm and sunny. So after our extra day in White Hills, we left early the following day, about 5 o'clock, and left the pontoon and headed round the corner towards Peterhead. Stay close in the wall. What are we doing this morning?
Going to Peterhead.
Yay!
About 4 in the morning.
Nice sunrise, eh?
It was a beautiful start to the morning, but it got gradually worse as the day went on, and again a thick haw came down before we got to Peterhead.
Bye bye White Hills. Had a great time. Lovely place to stay. Been happy to stay there for a few weeks. Very nice.
So watch next time to see us leave Peterhead travel 85 miles at night, get called by this dive support vessel because we were getting too close, and watch what happened on our passage plan south to Arbroath. See you next time.